Explosions of science!
Hey guys, in this episode I will be reviewing the explosive second episode of King of the Nerds. We saw timbers boil and a few minor eruptions. This week's episode is titled Weird Science? Not much happens in the first few minutes after the teams come in from the nerd off, other than congratulating Zach on his victory and seeing Josh's avatar picture pixelate to blue and then say, game over. Bobby and Curtis call the teams out to the courtyard to present this week's Nerd War, a King of the Nerds science fair. Each team will have to build a volcano and present it to 3 expert judges. They'll be scored on their science as well as their presentation, which means there's going to be a little bit of a theater aspect to this. If I was on the show, I would be having fun with this challenge. The teams are told about their secret war rooms and sent off to start work on their volcanoes. From what we see on the show, almost immediately after Midas' touch attack finds their war room, Mary Kate starts freaking out just a little bit, saying, what are we gonna do? Like, this is a science challenge and there's chemistry and we only have one chemist and what are we gonna do? But Zach says, no, it's alright, it's okay. We got the fantasy aspect, we have 2 chemists, we're gonna be fine. And Mary Kate says, well, who's the other chemist? That's when Zach spills the beans that Nicole is a chemist. Alliance over. There's a lot of contemplation about what story they're going to go with for their science fair presentation. Josh pitches the idea of bringing real-world science to a fictional world, which leads the team to recreate Mount Doom and the Eye of Sauron from Lord of the Rings. Being in Mordor, it only makes sense that the reaction they're going to go with to make this volcano really pop is dropping Frodo's ring into Mount Doom. And it turns out really sweet in practice. Zach wants to turn the whole thing into a musical because it's supposed to have an element of presentation. But Josh level-headedly emphasizes that it's a science fair and not a talent show. I do have to agree with Josh on this one. Yes, it's a science fair and they want a presentation, but a science fair presentation is not the same as a talent show. One aspect of that performance that I like before we really even see anything, Jack is impersonating Bill Nye the Science Guy. Over on Titans of Rigel, Katie's robotics background is going to come in very handy with this performance. She proposes a very realistic skit in which time travelers from the future tell the group about the Yellowstone supervolcano that's going to erupt and destroy the town. The majority of the team is preoccupied with their creative performance, but Kayla stands alone in being concerned with the actual science portion of the science fair, where the science reaction is no doubt going to get big points from the science judges. The teams arrive at the Nerd War and are introduced to the 3 expert judges. First, Bill Nye the Science Guy. You know Midas' touch attack's gonna have a little bit of an edge with that one. Winner of the Intel Science and Engineering Fair, 19-year-old whiz kid Blake McGrath. And from The Big Bang Theory, Mayim Bialik, who plays Amy Farrah Fowler. Titans of Rigel are up first, and I gotta say, I really enjoyed the performance. They went with a whole post-apocalyptic world after the Yellowstone supervolcano erupted and destroyed the city. It's a lot of fun to watch. If I was judging, I'd probably give them my vote. All of Midas' touch attack is dressed in sleek white lab coats, which I'm guessing is going to give them some points with Bill. Jack sounds very professional as Will By the alchemy guy, but the one ring reaction that they're going for when he drops it into Mount Doom fails because he misses Mount Doom completely. So there's a little bit of smoke, but the ring was supposed to create like this massive explosion with lava, and that doesn't happen, so they kind of killed it with that one. One funny thing that comes out of this horrible failure, Nicole calls Jack a squib. And if you're a Harry Potter fan like me, you'll know just how bad that is. In the end, Titans of Rigel take the win. Sometime after the challenge, Zach completely erupts on his entire team. And it's so not pretty. When I watched this the first time, I thought, oh, dude, what are you doing? This is horrible. Like, really, you need a team. And this is the second Nerd War. Like, you don't want to go making enemies right now. That was my person brain talking. My game brain checked in and was like, okay, actually, you know what? That's probably a really good strategy. Not only for his game, but also for like ratings and stuff, because people are going to be intrigued by that stuff and they're going to want to see just how far he can go. So Heart said, what are you doing? This is horrible. Stop it. But my head, yeah, okay, I can see where you're going with this. Xander has some good points as they're deciding who to put into the Nerd Off. He points out that it's a science Nerd Off, so the person they choose is not going to be a science person, so they're guaranteed to go home. Unfortunately, this means that they're going to put Josh into the Nerd Off. He's outright stated that he is not good with numbers or science at all. It's not looking so good for J-Wits. Later that night, Mary Kate teaches Zach how to do shots, and it's pretty funny. During the throne room ceremony, Zach and Josh are voted into the Nerd Off. Zach feels that he led his team in every aspect of the challenge, minus the science portion, to which Josh level-headedly disagrees, and then Zach, once again, blows up. He refers to Josh as the least intelligent person on the team, and a redundancy, then tries to make it all better by giving one of the most awkward hugs I have ever seen on any TV reality show. For the Nerd Off, Zach and Josh need to do an alien autopsy. They're each given a book with figures and pictures of alien organs that they have to correctly match with human organ functions. The first person to match 3 alien organs with the human description correctly wins the Nerd Off and stays to compete for that coveted King of the Nerds title. As it's already been stated, Josh is not a science person, but he's very good with mnemonic devices. So if he can come up with a way to match the picture of an organ to something he's relating it to, he's fine. But then there's the descriptions, so he needs to get the descriptions down and match them correctly to his mnemonic devices so he can win this thing. The entire Midas Touch Attack team opts to help Josh get everything down so he can win and keep Midas Touch Attack strong. On Titans of Rigel, Xander votes to help Zach because he makes another good point that if Zach stays in the house, he's going to create even more chaos for Midas Touch Attack, which will keep the Titans of Rigel stronger. In the end, Zach comes up the victor and sends Josh home, which prompts Nicole to make a very interesting analogy. She compares this Nerd Off to the Red Wedding from Game of Thrones. On the bright side, Josh delivers one of the best outros I have seen on any reality TV show. He beatboxes his way off. It's great. That's it for Weird Science on King of the Nerds. I enjoyed this episode a lot, especially the theatrical performance that Titans of Rigel did during the science fair, but I have a feeling I'm going to be looking to next week's episode even more. They're doing live action roleplay, or LARPing. I'm excited. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to punch the like button, share it around with your friends, hit subscribe to be notified of all of my latest videos, and comment below so we can interact. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Google+. Also, follow the link in the information below to see my previous video. That's all for right now, guys. Have a great day. Keep on keeping on.